तो से नहीं बोलूं कन्हैया, जा तो से नहीं बोलूं कन्हैया। भूतादि संसेवित चरणं भूतभौतिक प्रपंच भरणं वीतरागिनं विनुतयोगिनं विश्वकारणं विघ्नवारणं वातापि गणपतिं भजेऽहं, जा तो से नहीं बोलूं कन्हैया। संतो कारम की गति न्यारी, संतो बड़े बड़े नयन दिए मीरा गन को, बाधा बाल फिरत उधारी। संतो कारम की गति न्यारी, संतो। You're wondering what I'm doing, but thank you. So it was so wonderful growing up in Bombay. Even more wonderful that I grew up in a home that woke up to ये आकाशवाणी है, All India Radio. पेश है संगीत सरिता, which was the first broadcast we woke up to at 7 in the morning, and listening to different songs, one after the other, different types of music, different genres of music. All these words evolved only today, kinds, genres. But for me and the rest of my house, with our mother who loved anything that sounded beautiful, this was the way we woke up to. It was almost like I imagine when you see the earth from this space, there are no geographical borders. Everything seems like one beautiful blue mass of water with green here and there. So that was our house, with Hindustani music, Carnatic music, film music, everything coming one after the other. It was not so wonderful to be woken up at 3:45 in the morning every day by my mother, who would say, now start singing at 4 o'clock, and to go on singing till 6. And then she would tell me, why don't you sing that Rim Jim song, the one we heard yesterday in Sangeet Sarita, Rim Jim song. Rim Jim Naina Barse. So she'd say, practice this song. Rim Jim. No, Rim Jim was not like that. There was something more in it or something less in it. Rim Jim, Rim Jim, Rim Jim. So 100 Rim Jims would go on till my mother went to the temple, her routine visit to the Shiva temple, where she perhaps did Abhishek of milk every day. That's what she told us later. And until she came back at 5:30 from her ritual walk and temple visit, I would have sung Naina Barse 100 many more times. And then I would have gone into another song, which was Vastu Amolik Di Mere Satguru, Payo Ji Maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo, Payo Ji Maine Ram Ratan Dhan Payo. Not knowing as a little child what that dhan was, what that Vastu Amolik, what the swaras, what the beauty of music that I had acquired just being born into that household, being born to my mother. Cut to a scene when I'm at Dadar station with my mother again, boarding the Chennai mail. Those days, the general class, the 3-tier, hot afternoon, we board the train. It's a warm day in April, 2 nights and 1 full day right up to Madras, it was called then. And I had about 102 temperature myself. And someone who came to help us board the train said, why are you taking her with so much fever? So my mother says, anyway she's going to sleep at home, how does it matter where she sleeps? In 2 days she's going to recover. And then she pops a croissant into my mouth, and then I say, I'm not going to get down from the upper berth because I'm so upset I'm going to go with fever. She said, yeah, don't, because over there you will rest, and when you get down in Chennai, Madras, you'll be fine. And then from Madras we go to this little temple town called Shri, where I'm supposed to sing. So it's a small town, and there's a smaller lane there, and in that small lane a makeshift stage with 4 or 5 benches turned upside down, and then a nice dari called a jamakalam put on top of that. And I'm singing to about 30 or 40 people, floating population who come out of the temple. I'm very curious to know what's happening in the end of the lane. Between me and the audience there's a space, and besides the people who are floating, there is also a passing by population. Sometime a cow is going by, and once it was, after half an hour, it was a little donkey. There was also a brawl of some dogs in the corner. And I did wonder, what am I doing? Where am I going with all this? But I realized my mother had begun her journey. So it was Sri Rangam, it was a wedding in Vijayawada, it was a Sangeet in Delhi, sometimes it was a film song show in Kathmandu. So she had started dreaming, and she had started sending me in trains and buses to sing everywhere. Reluctant, sometimes fighting her, sometimes crying, because I couldn't play hide and seek with my friends. I couldn't play hopscotch and jump. I couldn't read a book. She once confiscated a book which my friend had put into my bag, Mills and Boon. I didn't read it. I've never read one. But she told me, for life, you will never touch a magazine or book. So she had begun this journey. I was on that journey as a good child, waking up again 3:45 every day, trying to sing. Then I would go to school after that. And from Payoji Maine, I was a prayer girl. You've heard of flower girl, but you've not heard of a prayer girl, which was what I was. To start the school every day with Sari Jahan se Acha Hindostan Hamara. And then from school to, if you've heard of the Navratri Golu, which is celebrated in every South Indian home. So every home I go to, I sing again. And every Ganesh Mantap that I'm there, I'm singing a Marathi song or a Malayalam song. I don't know at what point this became my journey. What I do know is that the journey that was so beautifully begun by my mother, which she had always dreamt of, even before I realized it was my journey, it had become my expression. It had become my language. So here I was singing to a school full of children in Himachal Pradesh, a military school, where they don't know Tamil, they don't know Sanskrit or Telugu or Kannada, but they love me for that 1 hour of being with them. They sing with me. So that became my language. Before I knew it became my expression, because as much as the music moved me, I knew the audiences were being moved. Not because they know the grammar of the music, not because they understood what I sang or what I did to train, but there was something in the air that brought us together. And not for long before I realized it became my identity. So here I was singing to an audience far away in the north. I get out of the hotel and I take a walk, and there's no sound. For the first time I realized that silence can be so deafening. There's a reindeer peeping out of some corner, looking at me and going back. You may have guessed. Yes, up in Finland, in a place called Lapland, was where I was taking a walk because I was there for a program. And I go a little further and I see a signboard that says, "Right to the North Pole." And in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, we reach the venue, mountains all around. There's a beautiful valley where the Finnish are sitting everywhere, and the concert's going to begin in 10 minutes. The concert, which is a conversation between the Finnish Chamber Orchestra, comprising of 25 to 30 musicians playing Western music, and myself. And when I go there and stand there, just about to sing, I realize that I'm going to present to them not just myself, Bombay. They come here to listen to not Bombay but India, because they're seeing India through me. They're going to listen to India through me. They're going to enter India through me. I'm going to be the window for them to look into India through our culture. So it's pretty much unknown where I started Sangeet Sarita, to the school prayer, to the Navratri, to the Ganesh Mantapa, singing Marathi, Malayalam, also singing a jingle in between. How many of you know what a jingle is? Jingle is a song that sells the product. Tara tara ra tara ra, tastier, healthier, Bonvita. Yeah. So I've done a little bit of that, selling Bonvita, selling Rexona, many jingles that I've sung. And through this, little did I realize that one fine day I'll get a call from somebody called Ang Lee, celebrated Hollywood director, who says, I'm making a film on a boy who goes on a ship from Pondicherry and who lands up in a place and has only a tiger for a friend. I want you to be the voice to connect the audiences with the film. I want you to be the voice that will connect Pi with the rest of the world. I want you to be that voice which reminds Pi of his mother. Will you sing that song? Will you write that song? And I agree immediately, and here I am in the studio in Bombay for 10 days, writing that song, trying to sing that song. And Ang says to me that, you know, in the lullaby, I don't want to hear music. I don't want to hear so much of a tune. So I'm wondering, what does he want to hear? Why has he called me to sing a song? He says, a child sleeps not because he's sleepy. A child sleeps because he feels safe. That's when I realized that there's so much more to music I knew, but I didn't realize. We need somebody like Ang to bring out a song like that from me. To go a little further, that the song makes you feel safe, that the song heals, that the song touches, that music sensitizes us, that music brings us to a rounded level, that we are able to see everything else in our life with more feeling, with more sensitivity, that music can be a friend. At a point when I couldn't read Mills and Boon, when I couldn't go to a movie, I used to think, Ga is my friend, Ma is my best friend, Padani are my bunch of friends. And today I realize that the friendship that I have with the notes is able to get me friendships like these, friendships from people world over. And that's the power of music. I'm so blessed to be a musician. I'm so honored to be invited by you. Thank you so much.